Hello everyone, I'm Nick Hustedde, Technical Service Manager for FMC. Today we're at our Whitestown research site just north of Indianapolis, and behind me is a corn trial where we are making comparisons for Group 15 herbicide concepts. This trial was planted and applied on May 10th and has not received a post-application, and the corn's right around V5. So the overall objective of this study is to evaluate weed spectrum for materials from the chloroacetamide family in acetochlor in addition to S-metolachlor, and making that comparison to pyroxasulfone, which is in the pyrazole family. We have these active ingredients applied solo at 2 different rates, and then we're also evaluating tank mixtures to improve the overall weed spectrum on large seeded broadleaves in a corn crop. So when we compare chloroacetamide materials to pyroxasulfone, we know that pyroxasulfone is in the pyrazole family, and what that encompasses is when we look at that herbicide structure, it does have a pyrazole group, and that has a greater affinity for the binding site when targeting weeds such as velvet leaf in addition to lamb's quarters, which are pretty abundant at this site. What we also notice is improved activity on species such as morning glories as well as common ragweed, as indicated by suppression on the pyroxasulfone labels. So what we've noticed in this particular trial, again, is improved efficacy on velvet leaf in addition to lamb's quarters, in particular with pyroxasulfone. But also when we think about some of the herbicide practices and adoption of the auxin technologies, what we're noticing is a shift to velvet leaf in some instances where we're relying more heavily on those auxin technologies. So pyroxasulfone would be an active ingredient that's in Anthem MAXX, but Anthem MAXX also encompasses fluthiosate methyl, which would be cadet, and so we're getting foliar activity on that velvet leaf population, but also providing improved residual control from that application in both corn and soybeans. Group 15 herbicides provide excellent foundation residual activity on grasses and small seeded broadleaves. In corn production systems, we typically recommend tank mixing Anthem MAXX with the photosystem 2 inhibitors such as atrazine, in addition to an HPPD inhibitor including mesotrione, Callisto, topramazone, which would be Impact or Armazon, or timbotrione, which would be Lotus. And effectively what this does is employs multiple residual sites of action with broad spectrum activity in an overall resistance management strategy. If we're applying Anthem MAXX post-emergence in corn, we can apply up to the 4th leaf color, but be sure to consult the label as it relates to use rate, because soil texture and organic matter can define which use rate we should employ. And we also have to be mindful of other tank mix partners and any sort of restriction that might be in place in terms of growth stage. In soybeans, the layered residual approach has been widely adopted, where we have a pre-emergence application that was made, and we're layering that Group 15 herbicide, such as Anthem MAXX, in order to get us to canopy. So when we get canopy closure, what that's going to do is reduce the amount of sunlight that penetrates the canopy and stabilize our soil temperature, which can impede emergence for some of our driver weed species, particularly the amaranthus species. So in terms of use rate in soybeans, really it depends upon your row spacing with that layered residual approach. If we're in more narrow row spacing, we know we're going to get a quicker canopy. And so oftentimes we will recommend 3.2 ounces in with that tank mix partner based upon the trait platform, whether it's 2,4-D, dicamba, glufosinate, glyphosate, or even in a conventional soybean system. As we get into wider row spacing situations, we know that we have a longer period of time until we reach canopy, and that's often where we're going to recommend the 4-ounce use rate in that post-emergence application. Anthem MAXX is labeled up to the 6-trifoliate in soybeans, but really we want to focus on applying earlier to bare soil, and typically that's going to be that V2 to V3 time frame. Again, as it relates to rate selection, we need to refer to the label, as soil texture and organic matter will define the proper use rate.